Good morning. My name is Doyle Dobbins, and I am the worship associate for today. On behalf of the Unitarian Church of Wilmington, Delaware, I welcome you to our online service. We are Unitarian Universalists. which means that we are a very diverse group of people. Diverse theologically, philosophically, racially, culturally, politically, and in other ways as well, including sexual orientation, and from young to old, from vegans to meat eaters, from aggressive and active extroverts to laid back and very quiet introverts. Regardless of who you are, or how you see yourself, or how others see you, you are welcome to our service and to the First Unitarian Church of Wilmington, Delaware. Today begins Thanksgiving week, which fits well with our general theme of the month, which is healing. We are certainly in need of that, and we're also in need of Thanksgiving. And in the context of healing, our service today will focus on the work of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, which we often refer to as UUSC. And part of that focus is the wrap-up of our annual Guest at Your Table program, a program which enables us to support UUSC and its social justice and human rights work around the world, especially in relation to climate change, humanitarian crises, refugee rights, every category of equality, and basic civil rights. So we can be thankful while focusing on healing, which is part of the social justice and certainly part of the work of our service committee, UUSC. We also welcome today Laura Randall. Laura is our guest speaker, and she is on the staff at UUSC, and you may remember that she was our guest speaker last year for our Guests at Your Table service. She is a graduate of Harvard Divinity School, an ordained UU minister, has worked as a hospital chaplain, and in various ministries within the Unitarian Universalist Association. So, what's happening at First U? Well, to answer that question, please read our weekly e-news or go to our website, firstuuwilm.org. And now let us prepare ourselves for worship by listening to the prelude music that is presented by Kathy Harris at the organ. In keeping with our theme today, the Service Committee and its worldwide work, and as we think about our broken and fractured world, let us be reminded, while we are together, of our highest aspirations. And may we be inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity for the sake of justice for all. May we know once again that we are not isolated individuals or beings, but we are connected in mystery and substance to the universe, to this community, and to each other. We are called to justice as part of our call to worship. As we prepare to light our chalice, I would invite you, if you have a chalice at home, to light it as I light the chalice here in the sanctuary. And please listen to the poem by Sarah Eileen Lawal, Out of the Flames. Out of the flames of fear, we rise with courage of our deepest convictions to stand for justice, inclusion, and peace. Out of the flames of scrutiny, we rise to proclaim our faith with hope to heal a fractured and hurting world. Out of the flames of doubt, we rise to embrace the mystery, wonder, and awe of all there is and all that is yet to be. Out of the flames of hate, we rise with the force of love, love that celebrates our shared humanity. Out of the flames, we rise. Let us now participate in the hymn, We Are a Gentle, Angry People, as we are led by Kathy Harris and Sarah Barlow.
We are a gentle, angry people.
Please join me in affirming our mission. First Unitarian Church of Wilmington is a beloved community that nourishes minds and spirits, fights injustice, and transforms the world through loving action. For our story for all ages, or our time for all ages today, Carol Scott will read the story with the title, Welcome.
Welcome by Baru. I am a polar bear. That's me with my feet in the water near my friends. Life is quiet and peaceful on the ice, but wait a minute. What's that noise? Crack! The ice breaks. We're drifting away, my friends cry. Hold on, I reply. And then it's just the three of us, floating in the middle of the big blue ocean. We need to find a new home, but the water goes on forever. We play games to pass the time. I spy with my little eye something beginning with W. Wave! The sky darkens and the waves grow bigger. I'm scared. We need to find a new home right now. We need to find land. We're saved. Hello, cows. We're looking for a new home. May we live here, please? You are too furry. You are too tall. You are too bearish. Sorry. Off we go again, looking for a new home. Our little ice boat is getting smaller. Is there somewhere we can land? Yes! This could be our new home. Hello, Panda. May we please come ashore? You are too many. Look around. There's not enough room. You can't live here. By the time we reach another island, our little ice boat has almost melted. We don't have much time. Help us! Did you hear something? Said the first giraffe. No. You? Said the second. We could go and look. That's too much trouble. Pass the tea. Things don't look good, and we're about to give up hope when the ocean carries us to an empty island, and not a moment too soon. We have a new home all to ourselves, until... Excuse me, said the three monkeys. We're looking for a new home. Can you help us, please? It looks like you've got plenty of room. You are. Welcome.
As we think about our meditation and our time for contemplative silence, during this time, I invite you to think about the polar bears from the story and the many other animals who have lost their homes. But mostly, I invite you to think about individuals and groups of people who have lost their homes. Some people lose their homes because of climate change. Their homes are overwhelmed and destroyed by the sea due to sea level rise, or due to severe storms like hurricanes, or they burn down because of wildfires and extreme heat. All of these situations become very tragic. Some people, like the Rohingya in Burma, experience extreme cruelty and lose their homes and their lives because of the genocide practiced by the Burmese army. From the army's perspective, The Rohingya should not have a home. Their lives are totally expendable. They should not have a homeland. Again, it's a very tragic and cruel situation. And then another example, it's the 666 children separated from their parents at our southern border. They have lost any sense of home. Such cruelty. No home, no parents. Extremely tragic and cruel. And so our meditative questions are, what does this kind of tragedy and cruelty mean? Should we care? Do enough people care? How do we care? Do we care enough to invite people in these tragic situations to symbolically be guests at our table? UUSC, our service committee, is working for justice in each of these extreme situations. Guests at your table reminds us that we have a way to care, a way to affirm that we care, and to take action, demonstrating that we care by supporting the work of our service committee. In a moment of silence, let us reflect on these situations and how we can affirm that we care. Let us come back home now. Most likely, we each know individuals or groups of people for whom we are concerned. Please think of them now. I now invite you to say the names or the names of people for whom you are concerned and who need our care and support. May all whose names, which were spoken and unspoken, find peace and healing today.
As we remember the Rohingya, who managed to escape genocide of tens of thousands of their countrymen in Myanmar, only to become refugees in dire straits, mostly in Bangladesh, but also in India, Thailand, Malaysia, and other parts of Southeast Asia. As we remember migrants and refugees from Syria, Afghanistan, South Sudan, and El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, trying to escape violence only to face discrimination. As we remember indigenous people in Alaska, Louisiana, and the Solomon Islands, who face the loss of their homes and villages to rising seawater, only to face indifference. As we remember the 666 children separated from their parents at the U.S. border, 129 of them under the age of 5 when taken, who are still separated from their parents. As we remember those most at risk from earthquake, hurricane, pandemic, let us hear the words of Benjamin Zephaniah in his poem, We Refugees. I come from a musical place where they shoot me for my song, and my brother has been tortured by my brother in my land. I come from a beautiful place where they hate my shade of skin. They don't like the way I pray, and they ban free poetry. I come from a beautiful place where girls cannot go to school. There you are told what to believe, and even young boys must grow beards. I come from a great old forest, and I think it is now a field, and the people I once knew are not there now. We can all be refugees. Nobody is safe. All it takes is a mad leader, or no rain to bring forth food. We can all be refugees. We can all be told to go. We can be hated by someone for being someone. I come from a beautiful place where the valley floods each year, and each year the hurricane tells us that we must keep moving on. I come from an ancient place. All my family were born there, and I would like to go there, but I really want to live. I come from a sunny, sandy place where tourists go to darken skin, and dealers like to sell guns there. I just can't tell what's the price. I am told I have no country now. I am told I am a lie. I am told that modern history books may forget my name. We can all be refugees. Sometimes it only takes a day. Sometimes it only takes a handshake or a paper that is signed. We can all be refugees. Nobody simply appeared. Nobody's here without a struggle. And why should we live in fear of the weather or the troubles? We all came here from somewhere.
There is a large stain on the bathroom ceiling, peeling wallpaper in the bedroom, and the linoleum witnessed the Nixon administration. My home is filled with creaks, clutter, and too much dog hair, and I love it. I know my family and I are among the most privileged in the world right now. I have work and the ability to get work from home. I have running water, electricity, and the space outside for a few raised vegetable beds. In some ways, my physical world has gotten so very small in these last months. Seeing the same rooms and the same patch of earth so consistently, unceasingly, is a new experience for me. The urge to go somewhere, anywhere, is strong. And yet, I've never had more appreciation for the space my family and I call home. These unremarkable walls keep us warm and hold all the gratitude and anxiety these times have created in us. With all the uncertainty and upheaval surrounding us now, I've never been more aware of the importance of home, the importance of a place of shelter, stability, and belonging. Not all of us have this experience of home. For some of us, home is or was anything but stable and welcoming. Home can be dangerous. And I know there are some of us who work essential jobs who've had to leave their homes to keep their families safe from this virus. There are also those of us for whom that kind of separation isn't an option, and therefore whole families are bearing the risk of exposure. Some of us never feel safe in our homes, knowing that at any moment, state agents could burst through the door to arrest us or kill us. And then there are the many of us who find ourselves in the liminal space of no permanent home at all. Home is complicated. It is a place and it is a longing. It is a physical structure and it is a community of people. It is an anchor and an imagined ideal. Home is a fundamental necessity and an evolving act of creativity. Home is the foundation upon which we build our lives and the outcome of countless generative acts of love and repair. The work of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, or UUSC, is fundamentally about home in so many ways. This has been true since our founding 80 years ago, when the Unitarian Service Committee partnered with Jewish refugees and political dissidents in Europe in an effort to get as many people fleeing the Nazi regime as possible to safety. Today, our work focuses on climate-forced displacement, crisis response, and migrant justice. These issues may seem unrelated at first glance, but they are, at their core, all about home. The right to security within our homes, the right to restore our homes when they've been ravaged by natural or human-made disaster, and the right to seek a new home elsewhere. The 4 UUSC partners highlighted in this year's Guest at Your Table program each share stories that are primarily about the homes they are fighting for. Be that the villages they are trying to salvage from the effects of climate change, the communities they are trying to hold together as they navigate disaster and persecution, or the necessity of finding a new place to call home away from unremitting violence and economic devastation.
Chief Sherelle Parfait Dada, chief of the Grand Kalu Dulek Band of the Biloxi Chitimacha Choctaw Tribe in southern Louisiana, has been advocating for a community for as long as she can remember. She has seen the land her tribe calls home drastically change in her lifetime as rising sea levels, oil and gas extraction, and natural disasters have claimed homes and destroyed the farmlands her tribe depends on for sustenance. Recently, Chief Sherelle joined with other First Nations and Indigenous peoples facing similar losses and damages and risks of climate displacement to take their fight all the way to the United Nations. Chief Sherelle explains, "We have joined together with our Alaska Native relatives to bring awareness to the damages caused by greed and selfishness with a complete disregard for Mother Earth and all living beings. We are showing the world that you do not have to just sit by and watch our planet, our health, and lifeways be destroyed." Thousands of miles away, Mark Steggy, climate researcher with UUSC partner organization Joe Jiggum, is working on similar climate issues facing communities in the Marshall Islands. As a native Marshallese and an indigenous scientist, Mark is committed to centering his people's knowledge, experiences, and wisdom in understanding and addressing the impacts that the climate crisis is affecting on their home. Collaboration is key to handling complexity, and so I've been motivated to develop the tools for collaboration by sharing and adopting both Western and Indigenous knowledge to promote innovation and identity, says Mark. Just as UUSC partners with those to save their homes, we also partner with those who have been forced to find a new home elsewhere.
Since 2017, over 700,000 Rohingya Muslims from the Rakhine State in Burma have been forced to flee their homes into neighboring countries due to the genocide perpetrated by the Burmese military. Suja Karimuddin was compelled to escape his home as a teenager after being detained and tortured by Burmese state officials. Suja struggles with a longing to return to his homeland, but has found strength within the Rohingya diaspora community, knowing that even in the depths of loss, they can be a bit of home for one another. We try to build that sense of community wherever we are, wherever we live, Suja says. Towards that end, Suja co-founded the Elam Empowerment Community Center, now a UUSC partner organization. Elam Empowerment is a Rohingya-led community center based in Malaysia that conducts youth capacity building trainings and facilitates food distribution for Rohingya refugees in and around Kuala Lumpur. According to Suja, the goal of Elam Empowerment is to provide a safe space for Rohingya refugees to come and breathe, a space where they can come and feel free.
Many Central American migrants are seeking a place they can feel free as well. Residents of Central American countries such as Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, and Nicaragua are still dealing with the aftermath of intense civil wars, some of which lasted decades, and which targeted the indigenous communities of those countries along with poor farmers. To this day, extractive mining and drilling industries, drought exacerbated by climate change, and deadly domestic and state-sponsored violence are forcing people from their homes and across borders. Women, LGBTQI+ people, and indigenous communities are particularly vulnerable to these factors that lead people to have to build a home elsewhere. Adela Ramirez, a human rights advocate with UUSC's partner in Guatemala, Asociación Popnoch, says, "The majority of people here live in conditions that are not good, and poverty prevents them from fully living their lives. People cross the border in search of new opportunities for their families. That is why we at Popnoch always say that migrating is an act of love."
Migration is an act of love. And this act of love is being met by increasing cruelty and xenophobia by the United States. Decades of draconian and deadly U.S. immigration policies are culminating in crowded detention centers, which provide ideal breeding grounds for COVID-19, a near complete dismantling of the asylum system, the destruction of a humanitarian aid station in the Arizona desert by Border Patrol agents, the dismantling of due process and deportation proceedings, and still the continuation of family separation. Not only are these actions cowardly, hard-hearted, and small-minded, they are also a fundamental denial of a truth that could not be clearer. We are all connected. Those of us privileged enough to currently have relatively safe and stable homes are reflecting on the centrality of such places in our lives, especially now. Does the possibility of losing this home seem as distant as it once did? Can we imagine the results of climate change making our homes uninhabitable in the near future? Or what about government policies making it impossible to stay? This is already the reality for some of us. And for others of us, these potentialities no longer seem improbable. This is a lot to take in. The question now is, can we channel this uncertainty, this fear, into empathy and commitment? Can we approach these challenges with a spirit of collaboration and determination? Can we recognize our interdependence enough to realize that our homes, our health, and our lives are all inexorably connected? I think we can. We must. Remember poet Benjamin Zephaniah's words. We can all be refugees. Sometimes it only takes a day. Sometimes it only takes a handshake or a paper that is signed. We can all become refugees. Nobody simply just appeared. Nobody's here without a struggle. And why should we live in fear of the weather or the troubles? We all came here from somewhere. Nobody simply just appeared. We all came from somewhere. This earth is our home. Some of us live on the same patch of land our ancestors called home for millennia. Others of us have called this land home for a few generations, if that. Some of us long for a distant home we remember from our youth, and others of us have always lived in the town we now call home. Regardless of the miles between us, this earth is our home. The distress of our planet and the turmoil of our societies, these are the circumstances we find ourselves in, regardless of what we wish were true instead. Our relationships to our homes have dramatically intensified this year. Do we have the courage to turn that intensity into compassion? Can we feel, not just know, but feel the primacy of the value that everyone, everywhere, has the right to self-determination and safety in their homes? Some essential part of everyone longs for a sense of peace, a sense of belonging, a sense of rightness that can be described in no way other than home. At UUSC, we will continue to honor that longing and fight for the right of people to claim, create, and be home. I want to lift up Chief Sherelle, Mark, Suja, and Adela once again. I want to acknowledge both the loss and the resilience in their stories. What home means is changing and evolving for many of us. With courage, imagination, and determination, the home we help co-create with all of Earth's people will be one of more kindness, more gratitude, and more justice. Please join me in saying, Amen and blessed be.
Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those on your knees that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road, I'll share the load. If you just call me, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I might just have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
This is the time in our service for our stewardship moment. Stewardship is a very important concept. Let's begin our stewardship moment today by watching a short video from UUSC leadership and listening to their message.
UUSC is an 80-year-old international human rights organization grounded in the principles of Unitarian Universalism and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
UUSC partners with over 50 locally led grassroots organizations around the world to advance human rights.
We work with communities affected by natural disasters and humanitarian crises, including ethnic minorities facing a campaign of genocide in Burma.
We partner with First Indigenous peoples to advance their right to self-determination in systematically addressing the loss of their homes, their livelihoods, and their cultures due to the impacts of climate change.
And we support the right to safety, dignity, and justice for Central Americans in Central America, along the migration route, and in the United States.
We can only do this work because of the support of individuals and congregations like you. Please join us.
For 80 years, the Service Committee staff has been working for justice and human rights, but only to the degree that we and thousands of others financially support their work. How can we do that? We do not have the cute little boxes this year that we generally have at this time, but you should have received a guest at your table envelope in the mail. Please use it to write the check first, and then send it directly to UUSC. Or give online. And here is the link for that type of giving. But in addition, this link can be found in almost every guest at your table and e-news article or letter that you have received about UUSC and its work in recent weeks. You can give weekly, monthly, annually, or in memory of someone you care about, or by buying a generous amount of my donated honey. Now let me tell you, my bees had a record-breaking year. I could donate 500 pounds of honey, and wouldn't that be nice as a way to increase our donation to UUSC? Because all proceeds go to UUSC. The bottom line is, give as often and as generously as you can to show that you care, that we care, and that we are standing on the side of justice and human rights. In addition, we always need to support the work of our church, First U. There are 3 ways to give. Of the 3 options, please choose the one that works best for you, and I will give you a moment to read the details. Let us now dedicate our gifts and our contributions to our service committee, UUSC, and to our church by saying together, to the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives and these our offerings.
Hello, I'm Laura Randall from UUSC, and I'm here to say thank you so much for your participation in this year's Guest at Your Table program. With all of the adaptation, uncertainty, and sorrow this year has brought us, your congregation is acting as a beacon of hope and solidarity for our grassroots partners around the world. Guest at Your Table is a long-standing tradition in our congregations and provides a unique opportunity every year to get to know some of our partners on a deeper level. Learning someone's story can be a sacred act, and it is one that we celebrate through Guest at Your Table. With your support, you are helping to ensure that UUSC's commitment to advancing human rights and resisting oppression can rise to meet this moment. Thank you for saying yes to a world we seek, a world filled with more justice and more compassion for everyone, a world that recognizes the inherent dignity and power in each and every person. Thank you for being an integral part of UUSC. We are your service committee, and we could not do this without you. Thank you.
As we extinguish the chalice, let us remember to be thankful and to go in peace. But let us also be on our way with strong determination to promote justice and to stand with all who are working to bend the moral arc of the universe towards justice. So be it.